Welcome to today's tutorial on how to edit like one of Rook and Rover III's preset. It's a beautiful unique look with a desaturated muted greens and a moody atmosphere. I'll go through on how I achieved a similar look, and hopefully this will help you on your journey to finding your own style. If you would like to skip ahead, the created preset will be available free to download, and if you have any other requests, please comment below. I'll try and make a tutorial on it. Thanks and enjoy. We're going to start off with some basic editing, basic adjustments, making the image a little bit more flat and also deepening the blacks a little bit. And then for this next step, I'll speed it up as we're just going to go through the tone curve and adjust the RGB channels separately. The reason we do the RGB channels separately is to give the image a nice color contrast, and then when you go back to the RGB tone curve, then you can fade the blacks if you wanted to, or just mute the whites as well. So now we're going back to the basic adjustments, adding a bit more contrast. As you can see, we've faded the blacks a little bit, and the next step is playing with the HSL sliders. You can see there's not much yellow in the original image, and the blue is a little bit more like baby blue, lighter blue. The greens are dark, muted. They're on the opposite end of the yellows, so they're more towards turquoise greens. I'm gonna mute the colors, lighten up the oranges a little bit, playing with that red. I'm just trying to fix. You can see in the wooden color in the background, ours is more yellow, the original is a bit more red. So we can achieve that look by either darkening the red a little bit, but then also changing the hue. Sometimes when you darken the individual colors, it does increase the saturation, so just bear that in mind. Here we're just playing with the split toning to control the overall color of the image. You can see in the whites it's kind of like bluish, and in the shadows it's almost like greenish shadows. So just experimenting with the whites here. We want to retain as much detail as possible, and I think, yep, our blacks are too faded, so we need to bring that down a little bit. Here I'm adding a little bit more greens to the darkest points of the image. So again, going back to the blue, since we played with the split tone and it does change, it does alter the colors slightly, so you have to jump back and forth to get the right hue and to get the right brightness as well. You can see there's a lot more orange than yellows. So again, going back to playing with the reds and the orange to match our reds with the original reds, as you can see in the wooden parts of the windows. Ours is still more orange. So here, just doing the last touch-ups, just trying to match it up as much as possible. You can see the blacks are very faded in our image, but now we're getting a lot closer. Warming up the temperature. So jumping back and forth, changing a bit of our colors, adding a bit of clarity to darken our deep blacks and give our whites a little punch. So you can see we've got a really close result. So now we try on another image. Perfect. One click, add some temperature, add some warm temperature. Let's try a different image. This is great. Now we just have to play with the skin tones, as the original image was very saturated. So naturally we have to desaturate the orange and the reds and move the red slider towards the orange to give it more of a natural look. It's still too red, so we're just making a bit more towards yellow. And then maybe darkening a little bit. Trying a different image. Perfect. One click and it just works. Just adjusting the greens slightly, adding some color, and there we go.